Okay, this meeting of the Shelton Metropolitan Parks District special meeting is now called to order. Has anyone signed up for general public comment?
No, we have no one at this time.
Okay. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
May I have a reading of the consent agenda?
SMPD special meeting minutes of December 4th, 2017, and SMPD special meeting minutes of December 11th, 2017.
Okay. If there are no questions or comments, may I have a motion?
I move to accept the consent agenda for December 4th, 2017 and December 11th, 2017.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Consent agenda passes. We have no meetings or no business on the business agenda, and so we will move forward to the action agenda, which will be presented by Nola von Nudeg.
Thank you, Commissioners. As you know, there was some discussion recently with the county regarding the possibility of a levy shift, and we were holding off on this resolution until we got a final answer on that. And at this point, it looks like there will not be a levy shift at the county level. So I worked with the county assessor's office, and what we have for you now is Resolution SMPD 23-1217, increasing ad valorem taxes for calendar year 2018, and this resolution supersedes Resolution SMPD 21-1117 that you had originally approved in November. So these are the updated numbers for 2018. And if you would like the detailed explanation of how we come up with the increase amount, I'd be happy to give that to you. Or if you are okay with moving forward with it the way it is, we just need a final reading and approval.
Okay.
I'm fine with it.
Commissioner McDowell?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. Has anyone signed up for public comment? No. Okay. Is there a motion? Oh. May we have a first and final reading?
Resolution number SMPD 23-1217, a resolution of the Shelton Metropolitan Park District of Shelton, Washington, superseding resolution number 12-1117 and increasing the ad valorem taxes for calendar year 2018.
Is there a motion to approve?
I will make that motion. I make a motion to the approval of resolution number SMPD 23-1217, superseding resolution number SMPD 21-1117, and increasing the ad valorem taxes for the calendar year 2018.
And I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. There's nothing else on our agenda. The next meeting will be Tuesday, January 16th, 2018 at 7 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to call to order the study session of December 26, 2017. And this is our last meeting for the year. So the first thing what we want to do is recognize an Employee of the Month under our commission reports, and someone's going to present that, and it looks like it's going to be our Police Chief, Darren Moody.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. You get to stand right there. You didn't know why you were coming. So, I was just having a conversation, literally, with somebody in my office about the city of Shelton and the organization. Being in a municipality for over 30 years, I probably got more municipal experience than anybody in this room working in a municipality. And I will tell you from top down in this organization, they just get the job done. I've never been with a group of department managers that just get the job done. They come in every day, they go to work, they get it done. Employee of the Month is no different. So as you know, we started code enforcement this last year. Let me give you some numbers. Impounded or picked up stray dogs, 121 in the last 10 months. 150 abandoned vehicles tagged in the last 10 months. And this is from a guy that had no training, that we brought him in and said, here you go to work. Let me tell you a little bit about what's gone on. He started in what, March? April?
February 13th.
Started real work in March. Since that time, he's not only been able to take care of animal control duties, he's doubled the amount of dog licenses that we saw in 2016 and 15 combined. Removed over 100, as I said, 150 abandoned cars. In late September, you may remember we had the Shelton Out Loud. And in that, we had a group of folks from Mason Street that came in and brought a house to our attention that was having some problems on Mason Street with campers, RVs, traffic coming and going. It was given to him. That was his job. And in the last month, or month and a half basically, he was able to facilitate not only getting 2 large dumpsters delivered out there and trash taken away, but he also facilitated getting the yard cars moved, a large accumulation of garbage, the tents in the backyards, and the other criminal activity stopped when he was able to not just get rid of, but actually facilitate the people that lived in the RVs moving to a different location more suitable for RV living. So he didn't just go in there and write tickets and tag people and kick them out. He found better living conditions for them. As such, I think the mayor got a letter last month that said thank you very much from somebody over on Mason Street.
Yes, I
For the
did.
enforcement. He didn't do it by himself. He did it with Public Works Department. I think Craig's guys even towed a car out for him, and Jason with Mark's department helped out quite a bit. So it was a team effort, but it was led through Jimmy Belleville. That's why he's nominated for Employee of the Month, and that's why he received it. We hope he can continue these efforts in code enforcement in the coming year. The only problem is he's raised the bar pretty high, so he's expected to do it every day now. So Jimmy Belleville is the City of Shelton Employee of the Month. We have a gift card coming, but it's not here yet. Hold on, I'm going to pose for a picture. Sarah, you ready?
Yep.
We're not as quite media savvy as the sheriff. We don't have our own media team that can come in and do this, so we have to get Sarah in here to do it. And we'd have the rest of our staff in here, but they're busy transporting prisoners to Nisqually at the moment. So have a good day.
Thank you very much.
you.
All right, next we're going to have a presentation given to one of our commissioners, and that's going to be given by Vicki Look.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, and today is a good day. We get to acknowledge jobs well done, and so I'm pleased to ask Tracy to come up here and stand with me for a moment. We did get some information from AWC, and they let us know that they sent a certificate to Tracy and a pen, and they asked us to make sure that we acknowledged her participation in their program. So I am pleased to congratulate Tracy on her completion of the Association of Washington Cities Advanced Certificate of Municipal Leadership, the program. And that this certificate recognizes Tracy's continued efforts to seek out advanced professional development opportunities and acknowledges her demonstrated volunteer service to our community. And I know that there's a little bit of a press release coming out, and so I just want to congratulate Tracy on this award, of this accomplishment, and it's achievement of AWC Certificate of Municipal Leadership from the AWC, Commissioner Tracy Moore, Streets and Public Improvement, City of Shelton, so for completion of their advanced program. So congratulations, Tracy. Good job. Thank you. Oh, over here.
Everyone wants behind the podium.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What? You want to get behind there.
All right, to continue our commission reports, Commissioner Moore, did you have some activities this week?
Oh my, as everyone may be aware, this is my final meeting as a commissioner. I'm busy the rest of this week finishing up things and hoping to get all the loose ends tied up. And I also wanted to take a moment just to share some of my thoughts very, very briefly here. I just wanted to share that when I started as a commissioner, it was, I had really, really high hopes, and I had dreams, and I had things that I really wanted to accomplish. And sometimes it's been discouraging, and I haven't accomplished all the things that I had hoped to accomplish. But I have a lot of celebrations too. And so for the beginning, I'm going to share the things that I had hoped to accomplish that didn't work out, and then I can end on a high note. So the things that I regret not being able to get pushed through is the Brownfields grant and the redevelopment program for our Front Street properties. I feel like that would have been a very valuable thing to have for our city, and I'm sorry that that did not work out. I think that that would be something we can continue to pursue in the future. I'm really sad that the pear orchard monies had to go back to the state. That has been a goal of mine for about 25 years, and that was one of the grants that we had to turn back, which is, that again, I think we can pursue that in the future. I regret selling the public waste, the solid waste department. I know I was not in the majority in that one either, but that is one of the things that I regret. The renewal project I felt would be a very helpful thing for our city, and I think that is something that we can pursue in the future as well. And then finally, one of my biggest regrets is that I was not able to convey my vision successfully for the benefits of the rail and roundhouse. And while we're still pursuing the rail businesses and the rail industry and the tourism rail, I know that will be successful. I know that will bring economic development into our city. And so it's just set back a little bit. So in the way of regrets, that's not a lot compared to some of our great successes and things that I have worked on that have been close to my heart. And so, number one, Yahoo! Win of a lifetime is getting the council passed. I'm thrilled with that. I believe that is a new beginning for Shelton, and I'm so happy to have been able to, with the help of many citizens, get that through. And so I believe that is a new future for Shelton, and the best thing that I could have accomplished in my time here. Also, closely behind that would be our Transportation Benefit District, which has also changed the face of Shelton and given us, for the first time in the history of Shelton, a dedicated road fund so that we have a way of improving and then maintaining our streets. So that was a huge win. I think I am very proud to have taken part in the hiring of our police chief and of our city manager. I think both of those decisions were excellent decisions, and I'm very proud of them and of our great employees that have come on board, and our employees that are not new but have moved to new positions. And I celebrate the fact that those were wise decisions, and those decisions are helping move our city forward in a positive way. Some of the smaller things that I think we can tend to maybe not remember is the Tree City, which I've been very happy and very proud of our city once again becoming a tree city and following the rules that we need to do to maintain our status as a tree city. It's one of those things that gives pride to our community and makes us feel good about ourselves. The dog park is not a huge thing to all of the people in our community, but it is one of those things that adds to the livability and the community pride in our city, and I'm very happy about that. The public works projects that have moved forward and are moving forward, I'm happy to have been able to advocate for those and to work with those and to cheer on our staff who is making those things happen. We have partnerships with Mason County Conservation District that we did not have for years and years, and that is one of the things that I'm very happy about, as well as partnerships with the PUD, with Mason Transit Authority, and also with Mason County and the work that we've done for housing, and partnerships with Homes First in our city. The visioning project was, I think, important, and moving forward on that, I'm happy that we have actually enacted some of the goals of that already. We have Eagle Point and the acquisition of Eagle Point, which is going to be a ways down the road before it is realized, but it's going to be an amazing asset for our city. We have acquired more properties for urban trails, for future urban trails, and the development and partnership with Choice School, the Teresa Johnson Trail, are important to our livability, to our community pride, and will help our city in the long run become more of a city that is a desirable city in which to live. And finally, although it was kind of not a lot of headlines as of late, I think it's important that we work together and that we put the needs of our citizens and the best interests of our citizens in our community in economic development to change the regulations regarding the boundaries for our marijuana grow operations, which brings about a new and clean industry in buildings that were liabilities for the city. So moving forward, I'm excited to see the things that were uncompleted happen and to work with the council and with our citizens and continue in our quest to be progressive and to make decisions that benefit our community as a whole. And so that's it for this week. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and have a happy New Year.
Thank you. Commissioner McDowell?
Well, mine's very small compared to yours, Tracy. but,
Yeah, she had a
my-
lot on her week.
Yep, I have a quiet week, so nothing this week.
I also have no scheduled meetings for the rest of this week. It's the week after Christmas. So that concludes our commission reports. And at this time, we have general public comment, and we have a few people that would like to say something, so we will welcome them forward.
Charles Orthman.
Chuck?
My name is Charles Orthman, and I would like to address Commissioner Tracy Moore. I voted for you when you took office, and throughout your term here at the City of Shelton, you've represented the city and its community in remarkable fashion. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you back this May, and may you have a happy New Year. I'll see you around.
Oh, thank you, Chuck.
Toby Kevin.
Toby Keith.
Sing the song.
You must like country music, huh?
Commissioners, I'm here this afternoon to congratulate Commissioner Tracy Moore as she ends her successful term. Tracy, in my view, you've been a great supporter of this city and all the people who live and work here. You've worked on many projects, as you noted, over the past 4 years, but none strike me as important as the support you gave to the effort to change the form of Shelton City government to a 7-person council. This will have a major impact on the city and everyone in it for a very long time. You persisted in this in spite of the opposition of 2 other members of this commission. And as a result, beginning next May, Shelton will have a municipal government with the potential for much more diversity in terms of geographical location, political persuasion, and socioeconomic status. You deserve thanks for the job well done. Farewell for now, but I hope to see you back in May.
Thank you.
Kevin Dorsey?
Kevin Dorsey, 2110 King Street and 628 Coda, Araco Coffee. As all of you know, this is our last commission meeting of the year and therefore Tracy's last. And I also wanted to just thank her for her service. And now it's time to quit complaining about the past, for mistakes that were made. It's time to move on to the 7-person council, which was voted in by the public, as it should be. And I just want to say it's time to be less divided against each other, it seems like, and bond together for the good of the city and the good of its people. For it's by uniting that we will stand, and dividing we will fall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat Kevin?
Thank you. I too am here to thank Tracy. Commissioner Moore, you have been the spirit of progress and honesty on this commission. We are very, very proud of the work that you've done. So many people are proud of what you've done, and I thank you. We hope to see you on the next commission.
Thank you.
That it? Okay, thank you. Are we ready for a reading of the consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Please, could we have a reading of the consent agenda?
Vouchers numbered 16251 through 16332 in the amount of $170,496.89.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
I second it.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda passes. We have a business agenda today, and we have some good news concerning some lights. And so at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to our Public Works Director, Craig Gregory.
Thanks, Mayor, Commissioners. As we discussed last week, we need to move forward with the acceptance of the Relight Washington grant, which was a grant submitted for in the amount of just short of $267,000 to cover not only lights that have already been retrofitted from high-pressure sodiums to LED lights, about 500 of those that have already been done, but to also continue on and finish that for all of our street lights, another 250 of those. This will cover the cost of not only the remaining lights, but also reimbursement to the PUD for the ones that had already been converted. So we are just asking to move this to the action agenda for next week for acceptance. And then one more thing that staff would like you to consider is the reason for this grant, and the reason it is set up by the Transportation Improvement Board is to have a cost savings to the general fund that would ultimately go into transportation and continue to benefit that transportation element of the city. So what staff is recommending is that we consider setting up a transportation fund to collect all of that savings that we would benefit from and put that into a dedicated fund moving forward.
For transportation.
Correct.
Sounds good.
So, at the moment, we're just talking about this, concurring on this light issue. The question you're, for future, you will come back with some information. Are you looking for us to concur that you set up a fund?
We would like to.
At this time?
Yes, we would certainly like to take a
Okay.
look at that, and I can try to answer any questions that you have
Okay.
at this time.
My main question is, probably it's not anywhere in our agenda, is that is not. I mean, what you're asking, it's not in my agenda for today.
Well, it is
I mean,
part of the grant
Uh-huh.
also, because it is defined within the TIB grant
Okay.
that is the objective of this grant. So taking a look at that, we would certainly like to do that.
I'm not against it. I'm just saying it's not in here, is what I'm saying. So, I mean, we can just vote on it and do it, but I don't have any information about that.
We're not asking you to vote on anything.
No.
All Craig is describing is the intent of the grant, so that when we respond to TIB, that we also let them know whether or not we're interested in pursuing with what their intention was for this grant.
Okay.
And it's really all components of this grant, so any questions that you have about it, I can certainly try to address today.
I have a question about are there limitations on how the money is used for transportation improvements?
There is not.
So it doesn't have to be related to another TIB project?
No.
Oh,
No, it would be any, and like I said before, the reason that this program was set up by TIB was to try to reduce those utility costs so that those funds could be dedicated to transportation, which would be streets, streetscape, and multimodal transportation also.
great.
Are you, Tracy, you done?
Yes.
Okay. So the whatever money, whatever savings we have on those lights, they would go into the general fund, and then they would be pulled out for the transport, used for the other, or would they be put into the TIB?
Right now, your utility costs that you have for the PUD is taken right out of the general fund. It's embedded within the street
Okay.
fund. And right now, I think it's budgeted somewhere in the neighborhood of about $150,000 a year that we pay out for utilities.
So money would be put in, back in there, and we would use that, right?
Well, I
As
think what
needed.
we would really be asking for ultimately is that would be a dedicated fund, something like TIB,
Okay.
or I mean TBD
Streetlight
funds.
fund or,
Or the
something
REIT
like-
money that is
Okay.
designated just for transportation.
all right.
That sounds like a great idea to me.
Sounds good to me. Let's just concur
Okay.
to go ahead and do that. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Thank you very much for securing these grants.
Coming back next week. We're bringing this back at the next
Okay.
meeting, so you'll have a chance to see it again.
Very good. Thank you very much, Craig.
You're welcome.
All right. Now we're into the action agenda part of our meeting, and we're going to turn the meeting over to Nola Van Udig concerning our budget.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. This is your second and final reading for adoption of ordinance number 1912-1217 for adopting the budget for calendar year 2018. You have the budget documents before you, and you've already held your public hearings. The tax levy documents have already been processed and adopted and sent to the county. So the only thing left to do is adopt this ordinance. We held off on this because of some questions about the jail contract. We now have those questions answered, and we are looking at the possibility of, when we look at an amended budget for 2018, we'll be addressing the jail costs in that budget amendment. For now, we have our normal placeholder for jail costs in place in this budget. This budget does also include about $1.4 million in strategic and cash flow reserves. Mayor, you had asked about that. The strategic reserve requirement at 6.375 is about $710,000, and the cash flow reserve requirement at 6.5% is about $724,000. So that totals about just over $1.4 million in reserves. And then there's other program reserves that are set aside as well. So when you look at the total end fund balance in the general fund, that includes all of those numbers. But we do have them calculated and separated and everything. So at this point, unless you have any Questions? We're
I
ready
can kind
for
of follow
final-
up on what you were saying. Yeah, I looked in the other document, and I'd not seen the word reserves written anywhere. And so I had asked you earlier, it says, and then Nola, in her brilliance, turned to page 2 and pointed it out right there. There are 2 separate categories for reserves, but we have those reserves. I was thinking it was about 6.5% and 6.5%. It's 6.375 and 6.5, and approximately 1.5 million, but it's 1.4 million. So you answered my questions. 1.43, getting close to 1.5. And so I have no questions. We've been looking at this for a month or so, and Nola's done an amazing job on putting this together for the city of Shelton. And so my questions have been answered. Any other questions, concerns concerning the 2018 final budget?
No.
Okay, so at this time, has anyone signed up for public comment concerning this budget?
No.
Okay, so could we now have a second reading of ordinance number 1912-1217?
Ordinance number 1912-1217, an ordinance of the City of Shelton, Washington, adopting the budget for the year ending December 31st, 2018.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
I move we adopt ordinance number 1912-1217, adopting the City of Shelton budget for calendar year 2018.
And I second that.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The budget passes. Thank you very much, Nola. All right, I don't see Jason in the room, so maybe someone else is going to take his place for this next report.
I'll handle it for
You're gonna
Jason
do it?
today, absolutely,
All right.
Mayor.
Mark Ziegler.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Today I'm bringing you the city's comprehensive plan for final reading of the ordinance and adoption. As you mentioned, Jason Dose was at the commission meeting last week and did a great job in presenting the update for the comprehensive plan that's now overdue for adoption, but nonetheless, bringing it to you today for final approval. If you have any questions at this point, as Jason mentioned last week, we really only had the one comment from Hall Equities Group, made changes to the document and the transportation element to reflect their comments, and other than that, we had no comments from the public over the time that the comprehensive plan was made available. So again, I can answer any questions to you today if you have any.
Well, it is a public comment on this, if there's anybody signed up for this. Okay, so are there any questions or comments concerning this comprehensive plan?
I have none.
None for me.
Jason works hard at this, and he keeps us in the loop. We have to do these things, and so I think that we concur. So what do we need at this time? We're going to have a second reading?
Yes.
Do we have a second reading on the ordinance?
Ordinance number 1915-1217, an ordinance of the City of Shelton, Washington, relating to land use, amending and updating the City of Shelton Comprehensive Plan, including 2 urban growth area expansion requests, which include amendment to future land use map.
All right, is there a motion to adopt?
I move that we adopt ordinance 1915-1217, which adopts the updated City of Shelton Comprehensive Plan and future land use map.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. All right, now we're moving into administration reports and department updates. And at this time is our police chief, Darren Moody. I think he's number 1. Unless he wants to be number 2, he's got a gun, or number 3, or you can be number 1.
Up to you, Mayor.
There you go.
Thank you. I really have no statistical information or further updates on stuff that's gone on in the department other than the fantastic work through code enforcement that I explained earlier. And to give you a brief jail update of where we're at with that, as you all know, There's been some concerns and the budget concerns of the cost of the jail rising and the availability of beds. At this point, I can tell you we're exploring options with 2 other jail facilities out there to see what we can do. Even as of today, we were informed that our jail beds are full. We won't have any available till the earliest would be the 3rd of January. So we took our staff today, had the judge sign a release. We're able to sign 4 inmates out of the jail here and transport them over to Nisqually for housing to allow us some kind of cushion here to get us through the holidays until we figure out what we're going to do. But Ryan and I have met, and we'll be discussing further options. As those options arise, we'll bring them to you. But I'm happy to answer any questions that come up.
Thank you very much for your involvement, especially in this critical issue.
Darren, I have a question. So you took 4 out of the county jail today.
Correct.
Is that so that you can relieve 4 beds?
Correct.
Have available?
Yeah, we took
Okay.
four people that were there awaiting hearing next week, and we had a judge sign them out, and we used our staff to go over, pick them up, transport them, and take them to Nisqually to relieve at least a few beds over there for us.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Next is another chief. This gentleman's fire chief, Tim McKern.
Good afternoon. How are we doing today? Couple of updates. I'm going to give you some updates that are a little updated from what you have in your book. We're at 5622 for our district, which puts us about 15.7 a day. We'll finish just shy of 6,000 responses for the year. For us, that's about a 20% increase, and that's pretty tremendous there. The city is about 2544, which is about 10 a day, 9.82 a day, and they'll finish up, again, that'll be about 10% up what the previous years have been, so that's pretty good to do. Want to promote the Christmas tree recycle. So certainly we want to promote the citizens to let them know that January 8th to 12th, by 8 o'clock in the morning, they'll be there to take the trees so we don't have them laying around and we can get rid of those in fairly quick fashion. The last part is to be careful with the winter fires that are out there. We've had 2 already where we've had some inserts inside of fireplaces. Were not installed by proper installer, didn't go through the permitting process, caused some significant damage to the homes, and so we want to really promote the fact of they should be installed by a licensed person. They should follow all the permitting process. They were not within the city, they were outside in the district, but still it's really tough when it's a couple days before Christmas and they lose things like that throughout. So that's our report. Anything, questions or comments?
Thank you for keeping us safe.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll turn the meeting over to our city manager for a city report here.
Nothing today.
Okay. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, January 2nd at 7, not 6 o'clock, 7 p.m. in the evening, and starting in January, we're moving to 2 meetings a month, first Tuesday and the third Tuesday.
7.
At 7, not 6. So at this point, this meeting is adjourned.
Every time I look at that,